Hey there, coaches. This is Coach Tall Guy. Just reaching out to you guys today to give you a little overview of how I coach some defensive positioning activities. One of the things you've probably noticed in your games and typical of a lot of youth games is the defensive positioning and their shape is really out of whack. So I have coaches coming to me all the time like, how do I teach positioning on the field? So in this case, we're going to start from the back and kind of move forward. So I'm really only focusing on your defenders. Now you U9s and U10s, you're playing with typically two in the back, but in this situation, we're going to work with three. So those teams, U11 and up, typically you're playing with three in the back or more. But in this situation, might be an idea for you guys on how to coach some positioning. I did this activity the other day with one of our recreational teams. I thought it went pretty well, so I thought I'd share it with you. So the setup's pretty easy. You're going to have what you notice here is a bunch of soccer balls, and I typically place these soccer balls on cones, and then I label them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you notice the balls are out wide here. The 1 and 4 are out wide, 3 and 6 are out wide, and 5 and 2 are in the middle of the field. I want to make sure that happens because I want to give the players an idea of where to move to when the ball's in different parts of the field. So in this situation, I'm going to have a line of kids here, line of kids in the middle, and a line of kids on the far side, all right? The first time I do this, I just give the kids a countdown. So I'll ask them, hey, boys, girls, you have 5 seconds. When I call out the number ball, so if I call out the number 1, I want you to run out there and freeze and stop and show me where you think you should position yourself after 5 seconds. So I yell out 1. The kids immediately pressure the ball, number 1. I give them a countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then I have them freeze. And from here, then I'll make some adjustments, okay? So I will move the kids to make sure that they're positioned in the right way. That way the kids behind them who are going to be running out can see, okay, this is where I need to be. This is where I have to position myself. Now in this situation for ball 1, the closest defender is here, so they're immediately going to pressure the ball. Now you're going to see in this situation, I have the arrow going to the inside of the ball because the ball is on the outside of the field. I want to try to force this player to the outside versus forcing them to the inside defender. All right, so force them out here. I can use this sideline as a second defender. The middle defender here, or the center back, is going to provide that support, that cover. Notice the arrow doesn't go all the way equal to the arrow here because I want to make sure that this player is dropped off a little bit, 45-degree angle, providing that cover and support in case this player were to get beat, all right? Over here we have our third defender who's going to create that balance, all right? They're running towards the middle of the field, so they're really got to tuck in here, guys. That's a big, huge thing. And they're going to try to stay even with that second defender. That will be our new offside line, all right? We don't necessarily want this player way back here, okay? So we want to make sure that they're trying to be even with that. One of the common things that I like to tell kids at this age is, they're concerned that this third defender, like, why do I come all the way to the middle? Well, again, we have the pressure to the inside. Player might be out in here in this space, but by the time this ball were to travel from one side of the field to the other, our defense should be able to adjust and pick off that pass. All right. So a very simple activity. And then my progression would be here, 2, and then I have the kids run out, position themselves at 2. Ball 3, they would run over here, position themselves at ball 3. I would go through a few rounds of that, making sure that all the players get a different chance to hit balls 1, 2, and 3. And then I move to balls 4, 5, and 6. Notice these balls are down the field more because I want to get our defenders in the habit of that. When the ball's down the field, we push up. That's a big thing in recreational soccer. I just see tons of teams that have players just camping out on the 18-yard line, even though the ball's here. At this point, we're not really defending anybody. They have tons of space to drive into us. We're farther down the field to win it, so it's just going to take us longer to get back down the field. So we really want to get those players in the habits of pushing up the field to stop the ball. And then hopefully we can win the ball in this area here, and then we're on to goal. All right. Some of the things that I'll do as well is Like, let's say this is first group of 3, I might say 1 as they start to get a feel for it, and then immediately I might say 3, and then they got to quickly reposition themselves. Or I'll say 2, then they got to reposition themselves. Or I'll say 5, then they got to push up down the field. All right, this really gets the kids moving, thinking, and flowing, and then we can see how they adjust. And really what I'm looking for here too is how quickly they start to get the concept of shifting with the ball side to side, and then having pressure, which is we go to the ball and then we have a little bit of drop off. We have a shift and a drop off. So we have players going this way, and then we have players going forward and back like this. I think that having the balls here really gives those kids a good idea of what parts of the field the ball is in, and then how do we defend with our group of 2 or a group of 3, maybe it's a group of 4 on the field. So what I love about this too is we really do get to address first, second, and third defender principles as well. All right. I've spent anywhere from, depending on how quickly a team's picking this up, it could be 10 to 15 minutes. It may even be more. But the kids do love the engagement of having to think. As a coach, I love the opportunity to reposition the kids. I also love just the fact that they're starting to figure out how to work as a group. I tend to talk about different thirds of the field. So we have the outside third, and the middle third. Those concepts for the kids are really important. Sometimes I've even done this drill where I'll lay down some cones here, make channels as well. But not all of you have a ton of equipment, so this is a good way to get them to defend, see how they're moving on the field, address those first, second, and third defender principles. All right, so give this a shot. It's a good activity for the kiddos. Again, just groups of 3, have lines. You call out a number, those kids immediately run out and position themselves, and then you as a coach can freeze it, stop it, and reposition the kids. Call out a different number, they readjust, and then send on another group of 3 and do the same thing as well. So I hope you guys try this out. I hope you have some fun with it. Hopefully the kids pick up some of the concepts of defending, how to move on the field. They can figure out who the first, second, and third defender is. If you want to get super cool about it, you can start adding some talking in there. So, if you call out ball 1, a kid could run out there and say, I got ball. The second defender could be saying, force them wide, force them to their left, force them to their right, and so on. A build to this would be then eventually not per se having all 3 balls out here and balls out here, but you could add offensive players at the 1, 2, and 3 spot, and just they're passing the ball back and forth, and then the players are having to shadow that and adjust. Not necessarily steal the ball, but just move with the players, make it a little bit more realistic. Thanks so much, you guys, for all that you do. I hope this helps out, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you so much. Bye.